Honourable members, we have quorum. I will ask Member for Raikos, Minister for Labour, to lead us in prayer.
Papa God, we want to say thank you for bringing us together to this house of your people, these elected leaders. We ask you to be with us through your Holy Spirit to guide us, lead us. Forgive us where we have let your people down. And we pray that you will give us wisdom, understanding, and guidance. And we commit today's session and discussions into your hands. And with that, we will together pray the Lord's Prayer that you have taught us to pray. Our Father,
which art in heaven,
Lord be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Honourable members, I wish to acknowledge the presence of the public gallery of the first batch of teachers and students from Northeast Academy in the National Capital District, undertaking humanities studies in social science, business and science. On behalf of the National Parliament, I extend the visitors a warm welcome. Petitions, notices, clerk.
The Minister for Rural and Economic Development gives notice. It is present a bill for an act to amend the Abbas Act, Chapter 240, on provisions relating to the powers of the Independent Consumer and Competition Commission and for related purposes. The Minister for Rural and Economic Development gives notice that it is present a bill for an act, A, to amend the Prices Regulation Act, Chapter 302, and B, to regulate prices for the sale of certain goods and supply of certain services, and C, to promote competition and consumer protection and for related purposes. The Minister for Agriculture gives notice that it is present a bill for an Act A to establish the Papua New Guinea Biosecurity Authority and its powers and functions, and B, to protect animal life, plant life, and associated environmental risks in Papua New Guinea through a sustainable biosecurity framework, and C, to prevent the introduction of plant pests and animal diseases into Papua New Guinea, and D, to control the spread of plant pests and animal diseases, and E, to eradicate the spread of plant pests and animal diseases, and F, to protect plants, resources, animal resources, and the environment, including agriculture production, from 1, plant pests, and 2, animal disease, and G, to regulate the movement of and facilitate the trade in plants, animals, and the products, and H, to provide a biosecurity enforcement framework, and I, to create a robust environment for trade, investment, and agriculture production activities, and J, to give effect to the international standards under the World Trade Organization, sanitary and phytosanitary measures, and World Trade Organization Trade Facilitation Agreement, and K, to repeal and replace the National Agriculture Quarantine and Inspection Authority Act 1997 and for related purposes.
Honourable members, question time. The Honourable Governor for oral.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My series of questions were intended for the Minister for Mining. Unfortunately, I do not see him here, so I will ask the Deputy Prime Minister because these questions also pertain to issues of concern under his area of management. My questions, and I wish the Minister for Labour to also take note, as well as the Minister for Commerce and Trade. My questions are in relation to a rising issue of concern, and we've noted this in our province, and recently I was in Leh on a visit, and I paid a visit to Wau and Bulolo to see for myself a restricted business for nationals, alluvial gold mining, which increasingly is being taken over, or there are expatriates that are now involved in alluvial gold mining activities. In fact, in our province, there was a recent death where a Chinese national had been killed up in Kokoda. He had originally gone there to engage in retail wholesale business, and he was doing that, but he was also involved in alluvial mining. There was also a death, I believe, in Morobe province where a Chinese national was also killed. And now we are seeing instances of this happening, in fact, anywhere where there is gold, it seems. This used to be a restricted business, just like many other restricted businesses, which are now no longer restricted, it seems. And while I commend the Deputy Prime Minister for his actions recently as the Migration Minister, taking a firm stand on those who are illegally in our country, I want to ask, what is happening in these regards with this particular business? Statistics indicate that gold production has actually increased, alluvial gold production, yet statistics also indicate that there's been a drop in exports. The only conclusion is that there's significant gold being smuggled out of our country. Then you see the rise of expatriates involved. And I say most of these are Chinese nationals, however, they're expatriates from other parts of the world who are also involved. And they are setting up mini alluvial mines with heavy machinery that they themselves are operating. They're driving the trucks, they're operating the heavy equipment, and they're pushing Papua New Guinean alluvial miners out of this business. Many of these foreigners are coming in to engage in businesses that have nothing to do with alluvial mining, retail wholesale, for instance. Then they're foraying into this business. What are the relevant organizations tasked to administrate and enforce the laws to prevent this doing about this? For instance, IPA. That organization for a long time has become just a rubber stamping and registering companies, but not enforcing laws in regards to how those businesses operate in our country. Labor is the other organization. Are they carrying out any audits and inspections out there in our country to see if the labor laws are being adhered to by these persons operating in our country? And immigration. I must say, though, that immigration has done a far better job than the other counterparts, but there's still a lot yet to be done. And my questions are this. Is the government aware of what's happening in this particular sector, the alluvial mining sector? What is it doing about it? And then again, what are we doing about the restricted businesses that for so long we have not made an effort to enforce or administrate in an effective manner, and now it's come to the point where there are no restricted businesses in Papua New Guinea for Papua New Guinean citizens only? Thank you.
The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Lands.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, Governor Oro, for your very, very important question that reflects on concern for many people and has been raised many, many times already. Just like to inform you that government, including myself, are very concerned also about this, especially in the alluvial mining sector that has been transpiring in a lot of our rural communities, especially in my home province of Morobe, up in Wau, Bulolo, and a few other places in the Watut area, which has seen a significant increase of alluvial mining using a lot of foreign workers there. And you are quite correct, alluvial mining is a restricted business activity. And I have already made mention earlier on that I have coordinating between the various sectors of immigration, police, the respective members for WOW, Bulolo, Labour, and the mining minister to converge an urgent meeting to address these issues. So we'll be holding that in the next couple of days to start to look at ways of assessing and combating this illegal activity that is happening in a lot of places. But the answer is not that simple also, because some of the issues that were raised, the alluvial gold mining licenses that were issued are issued to our own local people, or line blue. And our own local people have ventured into getting partners or going into business spin-off activities with foreigners and bringing them in with a heavy equipment or something. So actually, the licenses for alluvial mining is held, a lot of it, by our own local people, especially in the Wau Bulolo area. So when they bring in the partners take over with the earth moving, they bring in heavy equipment. Now, mining all this alluvial gold, which is restricted, is a restricted activity for Papua New Guineans only. So Mila asked him to align Milo place to, please. Kisim partner, but you saw I'm restricted activity here. Plenty time you like sim partner come inside there, I'm almost supposed to come na when I'm mining gold. You can say license, I'm blue yet, you use him, small scale mining. Now find other partners that can be able to work closely with you, when I'm mining this gold, alluvial gold mining, blue me. On top of this, the restricted, Mila Toksalo Parliament too, that the restricted business activity list, we have given directions to the Minister for Commerce, and he has already advised me that the restricted business activity list is ready to be brought before Cabinet again, an upgraded one, to help protect those reserve businesses activities list in Papua New Guinea. Minister for Commerce, the Honourable Win Dakri, has already advised me of that, and it should be before Cabinet shortly, and then brought before Parliament. So mi toksa tu lo disla for the Papua New Guinea and for Parliament lo arem. Whilst we look at this in the immigration space, whilst we are looking at a cohesive approach from all the sectors of police, labour, immigration, mining to address these illegal activities moving forward, I would like to assure Parliament and the people of Papua New Guinea that also in the last couple of weeks, I have sent immigration officers to the Wau Bulolo area, and we have picked up 25 foreigners, and out of the 25 foreigners, 19 were in breach, 19 plus were in breach of visa conditions and the Migration Act, and those 19 were deported immediately. They were put on the next aircraft out to Singapore. So in the last 2 weeks, we deported 19 that were sitting on site when we did a snap inspection. I'd like to commend the police that were involved, the lay police that were involved in this with the immigration officers concerned. This will be activities are not published, but because of we're worried about the intelligence or worried about notifying people, so these activities for enforcement will be carried out throughout not only the Bulolo area, but throughout a lot of our other places. So a total of 19 were deported 2 weeks ago on the plane to Singapore. They have been banned by myself as the immigration minister for ever re-entering Papua New Guinea. Whilst we do that, I would like to also advise Parliament that in the last 2 years, it will be tabled in a parliamentary report, but immigration under my watch has deported or asked people to leave. Nearly 105 have already been left the country, that have been given deportation orders for breaching relevant immigration laws. So in that space, immigration under my watch has been doing a job of ensuring that any foreigner who comes into a country must abide by our laws and abide by the Immigration Act. If you are here working, please follow our laws. We like good credible investors. We want credible investors to come. But if you come and breach our laws, I will ensure you get deported. We will also, I'd like to inform Parliament that due to that, we will be advising in the parliamentary report from immigration, but we also have deported foreigners involved in activities, illicit activities like drug dealing. We have deported Mr. Pang who had won a court case through the criminal prosecution, but I used my powers as an immigration minister to deport him as soon as he won his court case on a technical thing. So there's a lot more foreigners who have been not convicted of, but been suspected of crime, and under the Immigration Act, it allows the immigration minister to deport them when he feels that they've breached the immigration laws of Papua New Guinea. That includes also Sean Honey from in Bololo was also deported for drug activities, in associated activities. A lot more foreigners, too many to name, and I don't want to name them here, but they have all been deported on allegations that are nearly 100% true and have breached the Immigration Act. So that will be tabled in a report here. There is also another drug syndicate which the purported leader has been arrested in Australia, is currently out on bail, attending to the court case in Australia, but her accomplices have been remanded at Buimo prison in Lae, and they will be deported also once our national court deals with their issues. On top of that, we have had a Italian yacht owner that has been sentenced here in Papua New Guinea, in Port Moresby, to 18 years, including a pilot of Australian origin, and are currently serving time inside the Bomana prison. They will also be deported. The papers have been signed once they complete their sentence. We want them to face imprisonment in Papua New Guinea to ensure that they pay for their crimes and show an example to everyone else that follow our laws in Papua New Guinea. Also, I would like to add on that the foreign national of Chinese origin that was arrested in Lae a couple of months ago for discharging an illegal weapon has been convicted for 3 years and is currently serving hard labor inside the Buimo prison camp. So yes, immigration is taking a hard stand on this, but we will work to ensure that addressing the good governor's question, we will encompass labor, we'll encompass commerce, we'll encompass police and the mining sector to see that everyone complies with this and see how we can do it to make certain that the laws of our country are protected and our people are protected. But one time, just let me thank you, my good governor, for the question, and I hope that answers it. Thank you very much.
The Honourable Member for Okapa.
Thank you, Speaker. Looks out the people of Papua give me the time to talk. Deputy Speaker, sorry, I still mean to Parliament because me attend the electorate. I mean, like asking one block question without notice. Behind him is a question. One block opposition leader member have been asking this floor. Deputy Speaker, question blow me without notice. Go Health Minister. So question blow me goes Minister. Enough you confirm this statement. Stay. Deputy Opposition Leader Yaskin, the emergency ward, Logoroka Hospital, and being closed because law Nogat Marasin. Number two, enough Minister confirm or deny if health facility Logoroka got him with medical supplies. Last question, enough Health Minister he talked to the department long and one of something will make him. Strengthening medical supplies, na preventing all supply blow, marasi not longer up in Chedlo, hospitals longer up in Chedlo, country blue. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Minister for Health.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker of Parliament. I thank the leader, the member for this important question. First, the statement made by the good Deputy Opposition Leader yesterday in saying that the emergency ward of Gorok Hospital was shut because of lack of medical supplies was partially incorrect. One, there was no the emergency section of the ward was not shut. It was in full operation. That's according to the acting CEO who made mention to us yesterday. So I'd like to correct that statement by the Deputy Opposition Leader. Dr. Togol Sema Ausik or Emergency Department of Goroka and Misat yesterday or because of Rongat Marcin and talking not true. Something like correcting the information. And number two, something even got some issue lilik, or some disposable or articles, law emergency department, which all on a PHA, only using some funding, low buying, but because they were only waiting supply dollar Kamal lay, now only using some funding blow yet, and Dr. Kamal Sem. So it's just like correcting information. So I'm asking members of parliament, lo make him all strip lo talk lo parliament time me make him talk lo ya. The Sablo medical supplies today, me like to thank the Maraproso government. I'll committing by funding of 239 million kina this budget. To date, government released him 116 million kina long side long medical supplies. So that's a lot of funding. Our government is trying our best in terms of very difficult situations when we go to long end. But today, according to the statistics or status report, in department, about 80% of our medical supplies are currently available in our health system. As I speak, different logistics companies who are engaged, they are now engaged to support or to deliver medical supplies in 4 of our regions. So I want to say today again that the government is trying our best. There's funding coming through. To date, up to 40% of the medical supplies funding that is appropriate in this budget has been released to date. So I want to comment on behalf of the Department of Health and many of our people, the PHAs, who are out there struggling to provide the health care to our people. The government is doing our best and our part in making sure that we deliver to our people. So, while on this, I want to say today that we have seen a lot of increase in medical supplies sold on the streets. We all come through the public health system for some reasons. Some of these, antibiotics especially, and anti-malarial tablets or drugs are being sold on the streets. Today, me like taking the opportunity to announce him also, we got online, only finding also, only salim planti, also margin, we're supposed to go to Ausik. Only salim lo Goroka market. Na in the Goroka market, that's all planti have lo country blow me. People blowing the country, I'm marching with cap money buy, lo go lo Ausik. You know, blow you carry na go salim lo street market. Very, very important to making lo ya. Today, me like to go some, we got all policeman na, only arrest him, all salim, also tablet lo street lo Goroka. So, Department of Health, come down hard, make sure all marching with cap money will give him. He must go straight to the place where he must go lo him, na all man back sim, marching longen. You know, so I'm going to sim, or still marching lo side. Na put him all allow sich put also not margin because company will buy margin income. So this la tok ya, even la straight in tok. So again, me la making take opportunity to rail to call sema salim margin or still more margin where is supposed to call a public health system and tambo through. Police, na Department of Health, you got all team staff to make sure sema control him sla, na all improving system lo yimi. Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I'd like to ask my questions to the Prime Minister, if I may. Mr. Deputy Speaker, my questions to the Prime Minister is with regards to, again, the Connect PNG program. And media has reported very recently an investigation by Deloitte and an engineering firm from Australia to investigate the Connect PNG program. Mr. Deputy Speaker, if the Prime Minister can confirm if it is true that the government has instituted this investigation, number one. And number two, if this is confirmed, are you going to stop or put on hold the Connect PNG program to allow the investigations you have instituted to proceed on without delay and to stop spending more public funds while the investigation is in progress? Mr. Deputy Speaker, morally, Prime Minister, would you consider that it is only proper to stop or suspend the Connect PNG program so as to allow the government-sanctioned investigation to take precedence? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Long Laramie Beckham question long opposition leader, and I may like to thank you long opposition leader long ask him this an important question. Let me affirm that there is an investigation now on foot due to public outcry that stemmed from opposition call for Connect PNG to be relooked at on the assumption that it is a scam. I think the member for Yelebu was one of those main call out in as far as labeling this Connect PNG as something that is not worth pursuing. I want to say that we are a government that do not shy away from asking people to look into what we are doing, unlike past governments. We welcome every look into how we're conducting our businesses. Connect PNG is a major focus, a flagship of this government. We want to open up all parts of our country who have been left behind. And Mr. Deputy Speaker, I want to inform this House through this good question that the investigation is run. One of our top big audit firms in our country, Deloitte, has now taken full carriage of looking into this matter. And Deloitte is not, in any sense, Johnny come lately, or a private audit firm or a small audit firm. Deloitte is an international recognized audit firm. They're looking into the entire transactions in totality, from procurement, scope of work, contract disbursements, the entire the chain of manner in which these contracts were procured, and the supervision of these contracts from start to where it is today. The entire Connect PNG, if continuously supported for the next 20 years or balance of the next 20 years, will see our country being opened up with enabling highways and roads to carry our producers in our country to a market and allow our economy and people and business to flourish. The intention is good, and this investigation will ascertain whether we have done the right thing or wrong thing, firstly and foremost. And secondly, whether we are achieving value for money in as far as this investment is concerned. So it was a good question asked in a matter of public interest, and a government that espouses transparency, a fair response and an appropriate response in my view, an internationally recognized major audit firm in our country being engaged in this review, and they have engaged an Australian-based engineering firm, again a reputable, credible engineering firm. The name slipped my mind, but it has been engaged also to look at the scoping and work that is presently done. Mr. Deputy Speaker, this is a sign of maturity in our government. We do not shy away from critical questions asked in a matter of public interest. This will be ascertained because the intent of this program is good for our country. I want to indicate to all of you, Mr. Speaker, and those of us who live in glass houses may call it a scam, but you go to places like Antiba, you go to places like Minyama, you go to places like Telefomin, you go to places like Aguan, Correct. My governor one of my favorite governors from Milne Bay. I flew into Agaun, and to the people of Agaun listening in, I will come back to Agaun very soon. Only 10 kilometers down looking into Raba Raba, but they're still tucked away, the remotest part, as if they're in the remotest part of our country. These people deserve to be connected. Do we leave them unconnected? There was one moment in 2020, in the midst of COVID-19, one Sunday, I called up then Minister Nali, I called up Governor Haveta, where are both of you? Minister Nali said he was on his way to golf. I told him, Mr. Minister, I have a better idea. Go to Halifax. I have a chopper organized. We're taking a ride. Unbeknown to even my procols, unbeknown to the people of Gulf, we flew across the central spine of our country and we touched down at Kantiba. We touched down at Kantiba and announced only 13 people were there in small Kantiba. They came out, they never recognized me, they never knew my face, because they have no access to TV or newspapers. They only knew Governor Haveta, they ran to Governor Haveta, left me standing there because they never knew who I was. And Governor Haveta pointed to them, there's your Prime Minister, and they ran back to me, are you Judge Maraban? I said, I'm Judge Maraban. They cried, and I cried. They told me, Mr. Prime Minister, and I asked them, what do you need? And they said, we need roads. Mr. Deputy Speaker, today as I speak, whilst it may not be the fancy highway that runs through from Gordon's Bench Peak to downtown, but as I speak, and before September this year, I will be able to drive from Port Moresby to Lae for the first time in our country's history. Mr. Speaker, under the name of political game, we cannot compromise good programs.
Mr. We have a point of order. Member Farber, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, Prime Minister has repeatedly told the people of the value of Connect PNG, which we have no problems with. Our problem is time today, and he's continuing to remind us with the same story, same swan song. But please let him answer the second part of the question. During the investigation, will he stop the program? Rather than same swan song all over again.
Honorable Member, your point of order on time is in order. I'll ask the Prime Minister to respond to the question raised. Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, there is no direct reference in the standing order that tells me when to stop my first segment of my question, response, and when to start up my second segment of second response, or for the second question. In any case, I'll link up the two. It will not be stopped. Process of government is there. Investigation is running. And I want to also inform the country. There was one Sunday when we wanted to go and open up a link between Milne Bay and Central. The member for Abaus, and I respected him. I said, I understand you go to church on Sunday, so I will not go with you. But the Minister for Works flew in. Today, we're very soon from driving from Alatau to Port Moresby also. Whilst it's not a super highway, work has started and the connecting the dots are happening in our country. And, but this is an important program. We cannot allow corruption allegations or corruption practice to compromise this program. And so we have sanctioned the audit. We could have easily called for an audit internally, but this government called for international audit. An international audit firm is engaged, an international engineering firm is engaged. And if impropriety is found, then it will expose the improprieties. And no one will run away from this. It will be dealt with at an appropriate time. But I want to tell this House that the system of government is there. The work that is running will not be stopped. Contracts we have running will be supported, financed, and if the work of investigation, they're time-bound. We ask them to be quick in the first stage, and if they conclude and they ask us that you stop this and let us review and have a holistic look, we will listen to the competent advisors. But in the meantime, I want to inform this House the investigation from independent people will run, and the work will continue to run. We want to link up this country at the very earliest. And for those who stand on the sides of these roads, please don't just bring buoy to be sailed in Port Moresby and Ley. We need cacao, we need copra, we need oil palm, we need coffee. These investments are made. People along the sides of this road must then go into productive agriculture, migrating away from subsistence agriculture to cash agriculture. Together, we can help build this country instead of coming asking for money with no contributions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We have a supplementary. The Honourable Member for Erie.
Mr. Speaker, may I also at this point, before I ask my supplementary, seek leave of the chair to extend question time for another 20 minutes. I anticipate the response will be lengthy. To respect the Prime Minister's reply.
Honourable members, the question is that the question time be extended for 20 minutes. Those in favour, please stand. Thank you. I see that. Honourable member, you don't have the support, so we still have 20 minutes.
Thank you.
As concerned, honourable members, if you are asking your question, limit your background stories of your questions, and ministers that are responding get straight to the question, so we have enough time to allow for all members to ask questions. The honourable.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for allowing the supplementary question in relation to the Connect PNG program, and I welcome the answers, replies by the good Prime Minister. My two questions, supplementary to the original question in relation to the subject, are these. First, in relation to the expenditure committed and expended on this particular program, could the Prime Minister tell the country, from the commencement of this program in 2019 to date, how much of Papua New Guinea's taxpayers' money has been expended on this program? And number two, yesterday there was a report by the Minister for the Department of Provincial and Local Governments, Honourable Seroy Merapo Eoe, and in that report, Mr. Speaker, the good Minister highlighted to the country the failures or the decline in the, he used the words, the minimum priority activities in the country, particularly in relation to governance, education, health, works and transport, law and justice.
Yeah, honourable.
And there was a decline, he said.
I entertain your point of order. I'll just go to the member. I think your question on supplementary is not in line with the question raised by the opposition leader, so I would not allow for that supplementary to be entertained. But I'll get the point of order from, you're raising the point of order on the same ruling I made. Honourable member, I will allow you to make that as a new question in the next question time tomorrow. I'll allow for you to raise that question as a new question. The Deputy Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question, without not...
What's your point of order?
The point of order in the standing order is you haven't made a ruling on the point of order. The good Minister for Administrative Services, because you haven't made a ruling. Before you would ask the Deputy Speaker to...
Honourable, I've asked him to, Honourable Member, resume your seat. I asked him to resume the seat that I make my statement on the question he made. So I made a ruling that his supplementary question is not related to the question. So I asked the member to raise, the Minister to raise his point of order, and he said, he indicated to me that the same point of order was related to the ruling that I made. So my ruling here is in order, so your point of order is out of order. The Honorable Deputy Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My question without notice goes to the good Prime Minister. This is in relation to the Financial Action Task Force, giving us until October 2025 before Papua New Guinea becomes grey listed. So my question to the good Prime Minister, grey listing will severely affect the economy, it'll severely affect investor confidence, and it will make things worse for Papua New Guinea with respect to inflationary pressures, the cost of imports, and a whole host of issues. So the good Prime Minister has recently announced that he has set up an anti-money laundering task force. Could he please tell the Honourable House the composition of this anti-money laundering task force? And further, kindly advise the country the status of the financial intelligence units that are responsible for tracking and prosecuting money laundering. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, let me thank the Deputy Opposition Leader for asking this important question. I did summon all relevant agency heads to a critical meeting at my office last week, Monday, giving them, in no uncertain term, clear direction for them to work day and night to avert the possibility of us moving into the grey listing, because the next review time comes around 5 years. It happens every 5 years. PNG, as a member of international family of nation where our producers and our economy synergize with the rest of the economy, globally speaking, it is important we keep our heads above the board in as far as our standing is concerned. But the grey list is not just PNG. The review goes on globally speaking. Other nations have been put in the grey list. They've worked their way out of the grey list. I've given them clear instructions. Come October, we don't want to be in grey list. There are only 3 or 4 areas that are outstanding that we must dispense with forthwith. And our team are working with together. All necessary tasks are now being funneled to Minister for Treasury. I've shifted this task away from Minister for Justice. Minister of Treasury now has a handle on this one directly, coordinating FASU, Bank of PNG, our state legal team, Treasury, Finance Department, Auditor General, all agencies of state are being mobilized to work to make sure we are a country that do not facilitate or allow for money laundering and illegal transactions, but a country that is compatible in as far as our soundness of economy and financial system is concerned. But at the same time, I've also indicated to them they must do this in cognizance to PNG characteristics. Our farmers in the village, if properly ID'd, based on sales they're doing from rural farming or rural trading, there must be a special provision to address PNG economic characteristics where much of people are still based on cash economy. 80% plus of our people in our rural areas still live in the cash economy. And so those tidy needs to go on. We're trying to reconcile against standards of AAA rated economy or global practice, but I said give consideration to PNG's own economic characteristics without compromising the principle of living in an economy that is devoid of money laundering. So in no uncertain term, political will is there. We set up ICAC, and ICAC is also in that task force. We set up ICAC to deal with these sort of spaces. And I did, in that meeting, were very blunt, follow the money trail. And I did ask them, if you do not know where to start, go and start up in the finance department, for instance. Follow the money trail. And some of this relates to prosecuting outstanding cases of money laundering. And so I asked the team to work day and night until we reach October, and hopefully we could avert the grey listing possibility. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Governor for Western. The Honourable Governor for Western Province. West New Britain. The Honourable Governor for West New Britain.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
My apology to Governor for Western.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. It's my observation. It is only the same people keep getting the chance. Actually, thank you for recognizing some of the backbenchers.
You're recognized, so please
Thank you.
make your.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. This is a question. The question without notice is directed to Minister for Health. I acknowledge Minister for Health is one of the most hardworking minister who has been a man of action. So I'm raising this question with him so that we can get some clear answers. Deputy Speaker, through you. It was in September 2021 we did a groundbreaking for Kimbe Provincial Hospital, and today we are in 2025. And my people have been constantly asking me about this hospital development because this is one of the oldest structures still in the province. It was built like some 50, 60 years ago, some colonial structure, and it is in a very dilapidated situation. So, Minister, can you please find out the reasons for the ongoing delay in the construction of Kimbe Provincial Hospital, as promised, as we have witnessed the groundbreaking, given that the existing facility is in a very deteriorated and unfit condition, and placing the lives of our people at risk. And Minister, it is also brought to my attention, as much as we defend about the availability of the medicines and all those things in hospital, in West New Britain, we are operating below 40% of the medicines. And also we've been informed as to why the operational fund of PHA, the procurement of medicine is an NDOH function, but operational fund of PHA almost every year, 2.5 million kina, they use operational fund to buy medicines. So can we rectify this procurement of medicines and make sure it is available? And also, the Minister, can you please find out why there is a consistent lack of operational funding support to our PHA? And also, what is the plan to ensure that sufficient and timely health budget allocations moving forward? Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Minister for Health.
Thank you again, Deputy Speaker, and I thank the good Governor of Western Britain for this important question. Firstly, with regard to the level 5 NEC-approved specialist hospital, from the department, we have completed what we need to do in terms of clinical services plans and the master plans. The process is now with the Treasury, with the department to establish the loan arrangement for funding to come in and to start the project. That's where we are at the moment. So, again, side blue the Department of Health and finished, and side blue Treasury now, make it work long. The project is delayed 2 years. 2 years because the initial design was for the project to be constructed at the brownfield. That's where the current hospital is. But because there was a decision only changing to make it on Nupla site, that's where they must go revisit him design again, revisit him site again. All of those things happened. That has actually led to the delay for nearly 2 years. This time, the Dr. Governor and team blame PC. It's been resolved. Resolved in Pinis, so we play work now long. Treasury, as soon as establishing funding arrangement by how she can start, we believe that it will happen this year. That's one of the projects we want to see happening before the end of this year. I want to give that commitment. Side blow, the reason why you ask him on medical supplies by funding along or PHAs, PHAs are getting the funding. I want to say today that PHAs are getting the funding as appropriated by the government. It's become delayed, but to get funding will all stop. Today, as I speak, most of the PHAs are around getting the appropriations around 30 to 40% as we speak. So all the PHAs now look funding long. Last year also there was some delay in funding, but 2023 all the PHAs came up to close to 100% funding that were appropriate by the government. Last year, it got some issue where Treasury will talk all the time Parliament long some issue where funding the delay plant have. So there was an issue last year. Now some PHAs in full funding blow to mass, but generally tracking around 60-70% last year or 80%. This year, for the first quarter, we are around 30%, close to 40% funding all of the PHAs, which seems like at the moment mi play work closely one time Minister of Finance, mi play close sharing information. Na imi sabe na oklo tok lol PHS too. Now also PHS long keep tight control na spend long all priority areas. Cut down long all unnecessary cost or cost where relate to go long all priority areas lo PHS cut down long up na making something so that you can see you can look at this like go through this year. Going forward, Department of Health at the moment we play work long procurement and by margin come country establishing all quality of all margin in country but lo side long all from the area medical stores you go along all primary healthcare level. That's where logistics team will come in sort of contribution. We got Fobla, LD, Fobla, main distributors in terms of logistics, lo country, lo yemi. Mi blog tracking all performance blong all. Some line work good to mass, some line work good. Me can talk some post PNG. Mi blog some talk come all some post PNG is doing a good job in the NGR region. But the logistics company where we supply medicine along islands region in Oklahoma making good work to mass. So me la put him on record today. If you are the logistics company supplying medicine up the Highlands Highway, we seeing a lot of drugs going missing, getting missing along the way to the health facilities before reaching those health facilities. We'll now tighten up the control system, signing agreement with them all logistics companies. Suppose you got all medicine loose, but we will have all those logistics companies accountable also to make sure that we deliver these things. Going forward, I believe also from the provincial medical stores, now you go along all primary healthcare, level 1, 2, 3, 4, or primary healthcare level, maybe I think also all PHS can take control along all margin supply, below primary healthcare level, while Department of Health, ME, Margin come country, now go provincial medical stores. We will improve on this process as we go forward. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
The Honorable Governor for Mede.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Asking Blomi Tuksawe, Igolo Prime Minister. All right, Mr. Naplea, thank you, Prime Minister. Prime Minister commitment Blonga may been making people from Manam. 24th of May 2024. 10 million kina commitment igo mila to thank you. Lo Prime Minister lo monarim this lo commitment Blonga. 10 million kina first time lo successive government this like naman blo money go lo people blo milo manam. Issue blo manam and people turun sir lo bedeng no la country. Successive government ol pasimay. Lo kautimol isolum sigas. Lo hotel sleep lo waigani na people na citizen lo miblet lo country. Ino mo sleep lo case center but settlement. Me commending Prime Minister. Commitment bli working you honor men of your word. Same time lo 24th of May.
Honorable Governor, we have
Yes.
a point of order.
Just to clarify with our good governor that the money for the asylum seekers were totally funded by the Australian government, not the PNG government. Thank you.
Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, your point of order is in order. Honorable Governor.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker. I think point of order I'm stopping order, but look, country embarrassing. Government blame must look him. So no more people blame good. That's the point. All right, me talk thank you, Prime Minister. Same day I'm looking commitment belong. People belong manam. Commitment belong agriculture I make him too. Agriculture land acquisition fund. Awesome so. Me talk thank you. 2 million kina mix in finish. 2 million, 10 million yeah, so. Big line no go yet. Arama.
Honorable members, Honorable Governor, get to your question.
Over 1 year now, so some commitment the monarim, me believe some still bonarim, narrow commitment make him the same day. Awesome, so ask him blame me also. Balance blood is like 8 million, yeah. People blame work like agriculture, work invest in the economy. Then I'm thinking blame the DP4. Me pla wait stop. What I'm time by me black sim this la balance. Thank you. All right, this la number one question. While Miss Anaviet, I'm time come we got 2 minutes as well. All right. Ramon Nicol. Ask him Ramon Nicol. Me commend him, Prime Minister and Maraperoso government law. Sanap this la political slogan blow. Take back PNG. Pogara deal me blow him come up good. I don't need leadership langam. Yamamas. 5% equity, 10% equity, 36% equity, na melo state now stakeholders. Now me play movie go octary now, I'm good deal come up. Me believe also this la same arrangement lo structure ya, bam bla bla bla. Question blo me also one time bam bla move go lo Ramu Nicol. Ramu Nicol west over deal in the mining industry me block him lo country. Alright, people blo me now by election now wait stop. Some last scheme blo me lo IDG2 amang map na stop all RM stop. Bami go down remind more. 20 million blo me one time bami him. Nah, ina people make him new deal lo Ramu Nicol. Where must get equity? State must give state no give equity to provincial government, landowners, other stakeholders. Alright, now tax credit scheme too, and no threat. This is people Lombardang hardly accept him. People like a new deal blow. Now Nicol must come up. Must get tax credit scheme must come up. And Muslim so me ask him the new deal. Me are finished. Some said work will come up. Backside stop. Ministry blow. Mining go pass. Ina people putting on the new deal go Ramu Nicol na. People blow me losuno bundi. Now like what him leader to na stop so. All RM now balug stop. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
The Honorable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Deputy Speaker. I'd like to thank you, Lord Governor Lord Madang. Ask him a series of important questions relating to Manam, relating to land mobilization, and of course, Ramu Nicol. Lord Manam, I'd like to people talk sorry through Lord 1% blame long Manam. Only sleep long what was supposed to be care centers in an improper arranged manner. I want to apologize to our people from Manam and Governor, whilst 10 million kina, me enough long fully address him, need long fixing Manam. You may starting work on them Bogia district. Now me like this ground, you may look on top long. Go on top long Bogia site, you may find him. Survey him good, identify him ground good. Work on them district, you may find him good lands department. You may give him permanent land long all this all individual family long Manam. Laramol Sinano land in a better arrangement. That arrangements, lands department, leadership, Deputy Prime Minister. For instance, long displaced people long Tavur na Vulcan, long Rabal, it come up long 1994. But no got big movement, it come up. Only recently, long leadership, lands department, and lands minister, Deputy Prime Minister, work on them governor, belong East New Britain, member belong Rabal, member Kokopo, and Gazelle. For the first time now, you may give him finish 200 title. 200 title goes straight long online in this place. Now they get state title, and we're in the process of converting more. We'll give more permanent titles, all Sinan Wanamap, all Sinan staff. Same can work him like making Lomanam. Now Kadavar, me talk thank you long. Member belong Wewek. Me go inside and me looking for the first time, so I'm interested in Kadavar. And I want to say also, the agencies responsible for these displaced people in our own country, it is in the everyday job to remind us, government at the district, government at the province, and government at the national level on what we must do to really settle them well to these three groups of people, Kadavar, Manam, and the Rabal people. I want to say you are in our focus, our intention is there. Sometimes money is slow, but we will get there. Whatever little money come, I want us to put to good use to give them permanent land, and we assist in settling them once and for all as we face September 16th this year and beyond. Tokok blow you long money blow ground, 2 million kina ikam, some play outstanding. Work with the lands department, looking long, one map long, medang big ground is sleep nothing. Identify lands department is on standby to assist you. We have a land mobilization fund placed in there. And it is our government's intention. We don't want to alleviate land from our people, but we assist register this land. And then you at the province with the landowners can participate as we mobilize land for agriculture and other investments. Your concerns on Ramu Nicol is noted. This project signed before time are bound by covenant, And as far as those project agreements are concerned, we have asked the mining department to look at some of our mining agreements. Unfortunately, these covenants have the sanctity of agreement and law, but wherever possible by government policy and where we could help, like IDG, we brought in, and this is outside of the project agreements. IDG or tax credit is within government policy control. And Governor, to your people, we give fair consideration to IDG as a resource envelope that could assist your people as hosts of Ramu Nickel. But certainly when these projects agreement period lapse, this government or any government going forward must give considered view on better terms for the benefit of our people, our provinces, and our country, all in all. But Governor, your concerns on IDG is noted. IDG is this government's intervention, just like any government started the concept of IDG in 2008 and 9. We've now allocated IDG for all resources in our country to assist landowner precinct or project precinct landowner areas, as well as district and the host provinces get going and moving in development whilst they remain host to these economic projects in our country. But I want to say the covenant that bounds Ramu Nickel, as well as Lear, I want to be transparent, Lear is being relooked at to see whether some of these covenants has been breached for us to open up renegotiations. Thank you, Thomas, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Honourable members, our question time have lapsed. Papers. Honourable members, pursuant to the statute, I present the report of the Auditor General relating to the inspection and audit of the financial statement of public bodies and their subsidiaries and national government-owned companies for this year 2023. The Chairman, Public Accounts Committee.
Mr. Acting Speaker, I move that the Parliament take note of the paper and that the report be referred to the Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against, no. Ayes have it. Honourable Member, your point of order is in order, but it is now being presented by the Chair and it will be circulated to all. The Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I seek leave of the Chair to make a personal explanation relating to a misreporting story in the mainstream media today.
Is leave granted? Honourable members, my apology. The leave will be given by the Speaker, so by the Chair. So Chair, grant you leave. Make your statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I mentioned to the Parliament yesterday, I will provide a detailed statement on the floor of Parliament to address those queries from yesterday on the status of our 2024 final budget outcome. But in relation to a story today in the national newspaper, it implied that there may be a shortfall of 3.5 billion kina in last year's budget based on purported questions without notice tabled yesterday. Mr. Speaker, I want to assure this House and the people of Papua New Guinea that there is no shortfall of 3.5 billion kina. That is a very inaccurate figure. The short answer is that we have a shortfall of around 6 600 million kina. And again, I'll provide full details hopefully next Wednesday or Thursday. This 600 million kina amount, Mr. Speaker, is based on the latest data given to us at the BMC meeting on Tuesday. And if you recall, in the last session of Parliament, I had shared those numbers with you. I'll now give you a very quick update. So from last year's 2024 budget, we had about 3,608 million kina outstanding to be paid from the 2024 budget. Of that amount, we've, since about 27th of December, if you recall from my last explanation, we've now repaid or paid back about 2,428 million kina. That leaves us a difference of about 1,180 million kina yet to pay. But from that, we had redated some checks. We had cancelled some of about 580 million, roughly, which leaves us about a 600 million shortfall. So I just wanted to confirm that that is the more accurate estimate. Mr. Speaker, also I wanted to assure this House and the people of this country that there has been cash payments made, and very, very large cash payments made from our final but not finalized FBO data. We have spent about 8,608 million kina since 1st of January this year. So there's cash going out there, large amounts of cash, Mr. Speaker, large amounts of cash. And as I said, I will give you the headline numbers next week. But at a headline amount of that 8,608 million kina paid out this year, we used, as I mentioned earlier, about 2,428 million kina to pay last year's expenses, which leaves us about 6,180 million kina, which we've applied in this year's budget. So I guess the question is, where should we be with this number, 6,180 million kina? So to just conclude my explanation, if we look at the timeline for this year, 4 months and 3 weeks, we're at about 39.5% of our timeline, and the ordinary person would say, well, we expect about 39.5% of the budget paid, except we need to make an adjustment like we do every year. We use about 80% of that figure, so we expect it to be around 32% because we adjusted for the cash flow seasonality, typically when the cash comes in. So 32% or 80%, that's the figure we normally use, is the timeline. And of that, and I'll conclude my quick response, warrants issued to date are a little over 25%, a little bit behind. The capital budget, the capital component is at about 12%. So clearly we need to work a lot harder with that. So thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to give just a very broad assurance to Papua New Guinea and our Parliament that there are large funds being paid out, and I'll provide further details next week. Thank you.
Honourable members, pursuant to statute, I present the report of the Auditor General relating to the public accounts of Papua New Guinea, Part 1, 2019. Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee.
Mr. Acting Speaker, I move that the Parliament take note of the paper and the report be referred to the Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts.
Then is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. And those against say no. Ayes have it. Honorable members, pursuant to statute, I present the report of Auditor General relating to performance audit of government office accommodation and rental payment for the period of 2020 to 2023. Chairman of Public Accounts Committee.
Mr. Acting Speaker, I move that the Parliament take note of the paper and the report be referred to the Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Honorable members, pursuant to the statute, I present the report of the Auditor General on the compliance audit of District Service Improvement Program, District Support Grant, Log Export Development Levy, and the Public Investment Program for Kavieng District for the year 2016 to 2020. The Chairman of Public Accounts Committee.
Mr. Acting Speaker, I move that the Parliament take note of the paper and the report be referred to the Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Leader of Government Business. The copies will be circulated. As now the Parliament have just, the Chair have just presented the report, the copies will be distributed to your tables. Leader of Government Business.
Deputy Speaker, I ask Leader of Parliament to move a motion without notice.
Is leave granted? Leader of Government Business.
Deputy Speaker, before I move a motion, just a bit of a background on what I will move. This is in regards to all our children in Papua New Guinea, and I want to specifically acknowledge our children in the chamber today. Deputy Speaker, Papua New Guinea has made important legal and policy commitments to uphold rights of children, including through the Constitution, the Lukaltim Pikinini Act of 2015, and its ratification of the UN Convention on the Rights of Children. Yet, despite these frameworks, children across Papua New Guinea continue to face serious and persistent challenges to their survival, development, protection, and participation. At lunch today, we will have a presentation, and I encourage all leaders to be at this presentation. Mr. Speaker, I therefore now move that that this Parliament establishes a special parliamentary committee on child and youth well-being. 2, the committee shall consist of the following members. 1, Mr. Paul Sparkop as chairman. 2, Ms. Francisca Samoso as deputy chairperson. Mr. Marsh Narawak. 4, Mr. Sasindra Mutaval. 5, Mr. Francis Alua. 6, Mr. Luther Wenge. 7, Mr. Simon Kaiwi. 8, Mr. Lawyer Boy Samuel. 9, Mr. Solen Loifa. 10, Mr. Kit Iruhu. And 11, Ms. Rufina Peter as member of the committee. The 3, Deputy Speaker, the committee shall have the following terms of reference. A, examine key issues affecting the well-being of children and youth in Papua New Guinea, including health and nutrition, access to
and the quality of education, birth registration and legal identity, violence, abuse, and exploitation, children protection and juvenile justice, access to clean water, sanitation, and basic social service, government financing, and the effectiveness of service delivery. B, monitor the implementation of Lukauti Pikinini Act of 2015, the Convention on the Rights of Child, CRC, and other relevant national and international commitments, including its status as a pathfinding country under the Global Partnership to End Violence Against Children. C, review the performance and accountability of relevant ministries and agencies responsible for delivering child and youth-related services. D, examine how budgets are planned, allocated, and spent on child-related priorities and assess whether they deliver results. E, assess the effectiveness of coordination across sectors and between national, provincial, and district levels. And F, prioritize measures to prevent and respond to all forms of violence against children and strengthen PNG's child protection system. Number 4, that the committee shall have the powers to A, summon written submission and oral evidence from any individual or institution relevant to its mandate. And B, request documentation from government ministries, agencies, and departments. And C, undertake site visits and consultation across the country. Mr. Speaker, I now move that the question now be put.
The question is that the question be put. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. And those against say no. I have it. Honourable members, I now suspend Parliament for lunch and like to inform all honourable members that we have the briefing on the committee that is being established now at the C wing of the Parliament. So I invite all members to attend. I now suspend Parliament for lunch. We resume at 2 o'clock. Leader of Government Business.
Deputy Speaker, Parliament will now adjourn till 10 a.m. tomorrow.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Honorable members, I now adjourn Parliament to tomorrow 10 o'clock a.m.